Hello, ACB. I'm Russel Shaffer, Senior Director of Global Culture, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Walmart, and I'm so glad to join you for the 2022 ACB convention. Walmart is so glad to be a sponsor, and in keeping with the theme of this year's convention of here, there, and everywhere, we are joining you virtually today from Northwest Arkansas. I have two amazing Walmart leaders joining me today for a Fireside chat. I have Dr. Lenoir, who is our Senior Director of Optometry Relations, and Rachel Griffin, who is Director of Last Mile Innovations. And we'll be talking to each of them a little bit about their business and how it's supporting the blind and low vision community here in just a moment. But it really is great to be back with you all for the ACB convention as a sponsor, albeit virtually this year. The past 2 years have been a challenge for all of us, and especially those in the blindness and low vision community. For me, myself, as somebody who lost my vision progressively, the pandemic caused a whole host of challenges around transportation and other things that Rachel will touch on in her remarks in a moment when it comes to online grocery and shopping and things of that nature. But also just the ability to be active and be moving. And I think, that's one of the things that Walmart is really proud, not only to sponsor this year's ACB convention, but to be a sponsor of the ACB Get Up and Get Moving campaign. The pandemic was tough on everyone. I think it's especially been tough on people with disabilities in a multitude of ways. And I think one of the things that we really loved about what ACB was doing with Get Up and Get Moving was putting a real focus on well-being and physical activity and developing strategies and ways in which we can do exactly what the campaign says, get up and get moving, and really focus on our whole health and being active and focus on our well-being, especially coming out of this pandemic where so many people were isolated and didn't have some of the same opportunities for physical activity that we did in a pre-pandemic world. So a big shout out and a thank you to Eric Bridges and the entire team at ACB for your leadership and your commitment to wellness and health and overall physical well-being, and for the opportunity for Walmart to be a participant in that. So as we get started today, Dr. Lenoir, I'd love to start with you. As I said, you are our Senior Director of Optometry Relations, and you actually came into that role through your own personal background as an independent optometrist. Can you tell us a little bit about your personal background as an optometrist and how that led you to the role you have with Walmart today?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for that. And thanks for having me today. First and foremost, what led me to optometry probably started when I was in college. I had a chance to actually shadow and internship with several different type of doctors, one being an optometrist, cardiologist, and a primary care specialist as well too. And optometry kind of led me to that direction to help people. I followed and I shadowed one optometrist, and he loved his career. It was flexible. He worked a 9 to 5. Patients loved him, and he made a great impact on the community as well too. So after that internship, I actually went into optometry school, and then my first job was actually with Walmart in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. I was with Walmart for almost 18 years. I grew that practice, and it allowed me the flexibility to practice the way that I wanted to, and also to help my local community as well too. That help actually led me to different countries as well too, in which I partnered with VOSH, or Volunteer Organization Service to Humanity, in which we would actually service individuals in different countries as well too. So that's sort of my background.
Thanks for sharing that, Dr. Lenoir. So you certainly have firsthand experience, exactly the role that optometrists can play in the journey and the experience for people who are losing their vision, and the role that Walmart can play in having vision centers in most of our stores all across the country. So can you talk to us a little bit more about how you see Walmart being well positioned to play a pivotal role locally to support our customers from a vision center and optometry perspective, but also beyond that from a broader health and wellness and access perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the beautiful things about the optometrists within the Walmart community is that we're located across the country. We have close to 2,000 active optometrists within the Walmart locations, both independent optometrists and those employed by Walmart as well too. So with the footprint of Walmart, the access to care is just tremendous. The ability, not only that we're local, where patients are able to make an examination quickly. In addition to that, most of the optometrists take the insurances of the community as well too. So once again, just the access to care is one of the big driving forces. Outside of that, we also have Walmart Health. And with Walmart Health, it's just a holistic way to actually bring in the patient, again, access to care, not only through optometry, but actually through dental, through medical, and through behavioral health as well too. So we're able to touch the patient in more ways than one.
That's great. And one of the ways in which we're helping from a pharmacy perspective, Dr. Lenoir, which some of our ACB members might be familiar with, is our Script Talk service. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Walmart and Sam's Clubs, they've been helping customers and members save money, live better. They're deeply committed to the accessibility and medication safety for all their healthcare patients. I believe since 2012, Walmart and Sam's Club have made Script Talk audible prescription labels available at their pharmacies across the nation for patients who are blind, low vision, and print impaired as well. Upon a patient's request for audible prescription labels, the Walmart or Sam's Club pharmacy used by the patient will provide Script Talk labels to the patient at no charge without lengthy delays. Currently, Script Talk technology developed by Envision America is available at almost 1,200 Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies, with more than 750 pharmacies added over the past 3 years and 25 new Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies being added each month. In addition, Envision America is a leader in pharmacy accessibility for blind, low vision, and print impaired patients for more than 20 years, currently serving more than 20,000 people. Walmart and Sam's Clubs are proud to partner with them to provide the services to customers. In providing Script Talk labels, the pharmacy places a label on the bottom of the patient's prescription bottle. The patient then places the bottle on a small battery-operated device called Script Talk Station. The Script Talk Station then reads the prescription information out loud to the patient, including the name, prescription number, drug name, dosage, use instructions, warnings, educational leaflets, and pharmacy information as well.
That's great. Thank you, Dr. Lenoir. And the Script Talk technology, for those who haven't experienced it before, really is fantastic. If you haven't stopped by the Envision America booth at the convention yet, I'd encourage you to do so. They're there demonstrating Script Talk. And as Dr. Lenoir talked about some of Walmart's health and wellness services, you can also check out a Walmart Health and Wellness activation today on July 6th at the convention, where Walmart associates are providing a variety of health and wellness screenings. So please do check that out if you haven't already. So Rachel, we'll pivot to you now. And Dr. Lenoir did such a fantastic job talking about some of the great health and wellness things that are taking place at Walmart. But I want to take our focus a little bit broader to other parts of the box, as we call it, and to focus on other aspects of our business. As I shared before, your title is Director of Last Mile Innovations. Can you tell us a little bit about what we mean about last mile? And as I talked about before, the challenges that the pandemic created for everyone, but particularly the blind and low vision community, how does last mile really fit into supporting some of those challenges that the pandemic created?
So my title, like you mentioned, is innovation, but there's really been a ton of innovation at Last Mile. The company has rolled out in-home delivery where associates come into your home and actually load your fridge for you. We've rolled out express delivery, which was propelled by the pandemic. where we deliver to your house within 2 hours or less. And my piece of that is actually using technology and automation to add additional benefits to Walmart's portfolio. And so what I work on is autonomous vehicles, drones, electric vehicles, and autonomous sidewalk bots.
Thank Rachel. Some really cool stuff. Is there a little bit more you can share about some of those breakthrough innovations that you're working on, and a little bit around how we're thinking about accessibility as a part of that?
For sure. So we've been working with autonomous vehicles to do deliveries with. So we've partnered with Cruise in Phoenix, Arizona. We announced a partnership with Argo and Ford in 3 different markets in Miami, DC, and Austin. And we're looking at this space as really an opportunity to provide accessibility options to our customers. And so for us, it's about the breadth of assortment that we can give to customers at a reasonable cost and make sure that everyone has access to order whatever it is they want, whenever they want it. The other piece that we work on is drones that I mentioned. One of the companies that we work with, a company called Zipline, we've been partnering with them in Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and they started in Africa moving blood supplies and medicine in the country. And they can actually go about 50 miles or the range of the state of Connecticut. And so from our Pea Ridge site, they could go all the way up to Springfield, Missouri, or all the way down to Fort Smith, Arkansas. And what's really interesting about them, and really any of the other drone companies that we work with, also Drone Up, which we're going to be rolling out to 31 sites this year, is how we could use that technology to open up RX and pharmacy items for our customers as well. So you can imagine a future where you're interacting with your physician via telemedicine, and then your prescription or RX could be dropped to you via one of these other technologies.
That's amazing, Rachel. And I think for the blind and low vision community, something I know firsthand from my own experience, transportation constraints can be, difficult barriers to overcome. So a lot of the things that you just talked about, the ability to buy online, pick up in store, have delivered through a variety of features, including drones and autonomous vehicles, just really game-changing technology, not only for the average Walmart customer, but particularly for those with disabilities, those who are blind or low vision. I think one of the things we're focused on is, removing friction from the system and creating convenience. But, it's true that one person's convenience can be another person's access. And so while we're, really doing some really innovative things for the general market, we're really, really changing the game for people with disabilities. So really cool stuff. Thanks for everything you and your team are doing.
Thank you. And Russell, you hit on something there I'd like to mention too, on transportation. So obviously we're focusing a lot on delivery, but there's this whole other side, particularly of the AV business, where it's about transportation and people movement. And that's where a lot of these companies started as opposed to goods movement. One of the first early tests that we did was with a company called Waymo, which is Google's self-driving car project. And that was using autonomous vehicles for customers to come pick up at our stores. And so that would be a customer that takes an AV, place the pickup order, and actually, is transported to the store in an autonomous vehicle to collect it. And so it's a different use case for us, but really interested to see how that technology can also enable moving people and not just moving goods. So it'll be able to solve both problems for us. That's
really cool, Rachel. And I think something that might be of real interest to the ACB community for sure. So everything that Rachel and Dr. Lenoir talked about are really cool things that are happening in different parts of our business across Walmart. However, none of this is possible without an enterprise-wide focus on accessibility. And so that's an area where Walmart really doubled down last year on Global Accessibility Awareness Day 2021. Walmart announced the formation of our first Accessibility Center of Excellence to focus on physical and digital accessibility across our enterprise for both our associates and our customers. And that team really got started functionally working in early 2022 and is really driven by a vision of everything inclusive, everything accessible. and focused on empowering our associates to define, design, and deliver accessible experiences at scale, with an emphasis on adopting a culture of accessibility and action across our enterprise, building the infrastructure necessary for driving accessibility across the company, facilitating best practice sharing, and in engaging the enterprise on accountability for accessible solutions and outcomes. And finally, creating leadership buy-in and support and onboarding teams to scale accessibility. And so, the Accessibility Center of Excellence team has done that last piece very well by engaging what we call the Accessibility Leadership Council, which are senior leaders from all across the Walmart enterprise who are focused on driving accessibility deeper into the ways of working and everyday strategic planning and execution of their various business segments. And the ACE team, as we affectionately like to refer to them as, is hard at work on a number of different products and projects focused on tools, training, and testing that will really help us deliver on that vision of everything accessible, everything inclusive. So more to come on that. We definitely would like to have the opportunity to come back and tell you all more about our progress and milestones in accessibility at a later time. But with that, we will leave it here for now. Dr. Lenoir and Rachel, thank you both so much for joining me today. ACB members, thank you so much for having us, and we look forward to having you shop with us at Walmart. Have a great day.